Hello everyone, here's my review for You Season 1. The first season of You follows Joe Goldberg, a stalker who begins to obsess over Guinevere Beck and orchestrate an entire relationship between the two. I had never seen this show before, but my sister loves it and one of my best friends loves it, and my friend finally convinced me to watch it with him, so we watched the first season so far. And honestly, You is pretty great. It is 10 episodes of dark humor, intense sequences, and some great acting. Penn Badgley plays Joe Goldberg, and he is great in the main role. He absolutely nails the trying to look normal, but there's clearly something off about him in his character, and there's a lot of narration from him as we get a look inside his head, and Penn Badgley nails that as well. A lot of the show's humor comes from that narration, and I think his delivery for it is spectacular. But Elizabeth Lail is good across from him as Guinevere Beck. A lot of my favorite TV shows end up having morally questionable or straight up villainous protagonists and a really dark sense of humor. And I think that's part of why I liked You so much. It's not quite in Sopranos or Breaking Bad territory, but it is a black comedy. I think you can squarely put it in that category. Because a lot of the situations that Joe gets himself into, while tense and scary from the perspective of Beck, almost get over the top, and that's what makes them funny. And I think that's fully intentional. There are scenes where Joe is this close to getting caught, and you will be on the edge of your seat while laughing. And I think the show strikes that balance really well. There are sequences where the show goes just a little bit over the top, and I guess people's mileage for that will vary, but I was really enjoying it. Joe Goldberg is also a fascinating protagonist. I think villainous protagonists make TV shows more interesting, and I think it makes it easier to tell a long form story when you have someone that isn't just morally good. And Joe Goldberg is no exception to that. The show really never lost me with him because obviously, as a stalker, he's a complete creep, he's a psychopath, he's someone you shouldn't like. But the show hints at just enough backstory to his character that makes you almost feel bad for him. Or maybe not quite feel bad for him, but it emotionally grounds his character. Point is, Joe is complex, and I think this show strikes another good balance in making him kind of vile, but not to the point where you drop out of it. The show also has some solid music. It's surprisingly subtle, but Blake Neely's themes are great at hinting at something dark under the surface, which is exactly what Joe's character does. He tries his best to present as normal, but he's a very disturbed individual. I think if you can handle dark humor and some maybe slightly over the top storytelling, You is for you. So with that, I'm going to give the first season of You an 8.5 out of 10. This was honestly surprisingly entertaining, and I am planning on finishing out the show. But thank you for watching. That's going to be it for this review, and I'll talk to you all in the next one.